get their hands on that. Obviously, it depends whether they start on that CT side, but how long we'll have to wait to see it. And whether we get to see JR, like you said, sort of wake up and have a higher impact role for HELLRAISERS to get them a good lead or maybe the win here.
Jimmy, have you ever been soul searching?
I have, and that's why I'm no longer a player of Counter-Strike, and not a competitive one at the very least.
It's not called soul searching. That's not being able to get past level.
Sorry, that's just me being realistic. My bad.
Oh god, I found my soul a very long time ago. In that case, I'm happy now. You know what? I should write a self-help book.
It's like, stop lying to yourself. Just yes. Find something else.
Just become a caster. Come on.
Whoa.
You might not make it there either, but
whoa.
Hey, at least you can try.
At the very least, I'm not having to use my arms. Speaking is a little bit easier, and while we'll wait to see the players that have capable arms get their action underway. ATTAX, they won the knife round, so maybe we do get to see the double ult pretty early.
You say that, but at the same time, the D side double up. I'm just saying. There's a lot of picks to be found on Dust 2. Everyone's always like, oh, individual based, pick based map. Well, what finds picks better than an op?
Yeah, I suppose I can't argue with that. I don't think it's gonna quite work to the pace that HELLRAISERS have been kind of showing us. They like these sort of faster plays, although we see them slow down quite a bit, especially when we sort of look at their T slide on Vertigo. They've slowed things down pretty significantly. The pace I imagine that they're going to bring into Dust 2 is going to be considerably different.
The problem is, although HELLRAISERS do have Dust 2 as a significantly more played map and a significantly better win rate map than they did Vertigo, HELLRAISERS doesn't really have too many maps that they're realistically very strong on. Inferno and Nuke are the only two maps where they have over a 50% win rate, and sure, Nuke's is 71, but it's literally alternate taxes permaban, so this is generally a very bad veto matchup. Yep. Dust 2 is their third best, but it's a 45% win rate. It's and this is not a 45% win rate across a couple of games. This is across 22 maps.
Yeah, and I think when we first got our chance to cast HELLRAISERS back when we were in the group stage, kind of pointed out the fact that they have been going through a rough patch. They were sort of on a bit of a decline as far as performances and what was kind of expected from their players. Maybe that factors more into that sample size, but I'd still agree with you that is a worrying statistic that your third best map in the pool still isn't above 50%. So
yeah. Well, another worrying statistic for you is alternate taxes when
could be dishonest. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna guess 58% of the last 3 months.
Like, you were off by 0.3.
Okay.
What a scrub you are.
You know what, man? Whatever.
But no, 58.3% win rate. The problem though is they're very inconsistent. So they 16-5 Saw the other day, and they also got wrecked by Havu a few months ago. But that was quite a while ago, and recently they've actually been on a tear. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Admittedly, those 3 games, they have one of them going to double overtime, the other one going to triple overtime. So all I'm saying is, if you've got anyone waiting at home, you probably should tell them you'll be a while. But LootBet, they've got us covered. Our partner is giving us the odds, and they're favored in alternate taxes side, but not quite as heavily as the first 2 maps, actually.
Yeah, LootBet have been in favor of them all the way through. Skrunk, though, taking names, finding damage on JR. Flarich tagged down as well. Not quite the start they're looking for. Skrunk, I mean, he's happy to take those fights. The CT pistol's so much better at distance, so much more accurate. He's drawing so much attention.
Who dares say the P2K is not good on long range? Who dares? They have clearly not seen Skrunk with it yet. Unfortunately, without any players ready to intercept at short, this could be problematic as the T's have rushed up short. Slacks needs to intercept. Cressy is going to be on a long rotate over. Slacks has been flashed off. He's missing the first few shots. We know he's good for the USP, but he's not good enough right now. He's already dinked down, and Jalem and Fleric are able to come in with one apiece. Cressy, sure, is good for a return, but no more than that. Scrunk started off nicely and even follows up, but Fleric... Oh, Fleric. His pistol rounds have been marvelous, and they will continue to be so.
Yeah, some opportunities for Slacks to release, but that first shot from Scrunk, oh, we just missed the tail end of it. But either way, he started off the round but could not finish. HELLRAISERS, a good recovery considering they were a man down, and one man had a significantly low start to the round as well.
Oh, Slacks is actually tagged up pretty heavily by JR early. Murbit hoping to catch a few players off guard with his CZ. I think it was a CZ, or at least I see a knife right now, but it's a CZ. All right, that's good stuff.
I think it was ATTAX that we got to saw last time they were on Dusty. They got aggressive on their CT side early. This time they're playing so far back, and while Cressy tries his hand at a couple of frags, he's not going to get anything. Slack's still getting tagged and tagged.
I don't think we've considered ATTAX on Dust 2, actually. Slacks, however... well, Jalem's very low, but Slacks should be able to get a quick kill with the scout, and indeed he does. Jalem responds. Nades flying in from the CT side. Jalem's still not dead yet, even though he's very close to it in those nades. If only they'd been angled a little bit closer towards Scar. But Jalem will continue to hide away, wait for a push to come in through that smoke. The CZ at long range gets the quick headshot, and JR is suddenly much more scared than he was before. Tries to line them up, is unsuccessful, and Kalinka left in a 1v1 to try and take down Stefan, who has the deagle, but will opt for the Galil. Switches out, beautiful shots to take it through. Unfortunately, the bomb not being planted for Kalinka comes back to bite them. That late flank is not very effective.
Yep, great to close it out on the attack side. Stefan isolated duels, a crucial 1v1 to bounce right back into this game. And that first kill, the recovered weapon, that was all he needed. You see a bit of indecision to get the first bullet headshot or not, but the adjustment there in the end. So ATTAX with the force buy, they surprise HELLRAISERS on the retake there. And now just the SMGs to reinvest into this. 4 SMGs brought forward, that can only really mean one thing.
Well, and here we go. Grenade is there, and the MAC-10s are ready to play. Scrunk has got an MP9. It's not quite as good in this situation as you want it to be. Stefan's next in line for the quick SMG dad. So the problem is, will they find this flanker? Problem's the only one who's got the Tech 9. Murbit with a great double kill using the grenade. Unfortunately, we weren't able to catch that on the screen, but I'm sure it was explosive. Hey.
Anyway, a retake underway. ATTAX grouping themselves up. They identify and find the flanking problem. Could have been a huge issue for ATTAX, but now they'll set up for the retake. The flash is on through Jalem. He dodges out, and he gets both on the spray. Murbit, all that's left, and he cannot get progress. Kalinka shuts him down. And HELLRAISERS hold on to the site. What a great showing from them, getting that bomb site so quickly, forcing the retake, and just those dodge flashes just made all the difference.
Incredible awareness as well. Like you said, those dodge flashes are huge. You can probably see it in the replay over here. Jalem turns around. I don't know if he heard it. Maybe they were able to get a call, something like that, but he is going to get them the second round in alternate attacks. They will now force spy, and the CTs are about to find out that force spying is not quite that easy. The double nades won't do too much damage to Problem. He is brought down to 50, but he's okay with that. And like I said before, CT side force spy over here, unless they win this is what they're looking at, a 1-5 scoreline. You have a $1,900 loss bonus over here. Yeah, and even afterwards, you know, $4,400 is not really what you want on the CT side when you're hyping up the double up.
And while we're kind of mentioning the aggression from attacks, it's time to get Scrunk in through B so they can clear things out, stack things over towards that A bomb site. They can meet HELLRAISERS pretty much head on. Skrunk's not going to push that flank as of yet, just containing them in, but HELLRAISERS are pushing forward. Now the smoke cross. Now they get themselves on towards this site, but they're pushing back through the flash there, and well, problem Flarage, they get the kills necessary, but they're still trading fairly even. Mirabit as well with the SMG. He drops the bomb. That's exposed. Now the smokes begin to fade, and as Skrunk moves in on the flank, he could be the difference maker. Mirabit's just trying to buy time.
They're not expecting Skrunk, but he's too afraid. Now, Skrunk's been able to find a free kill. JR is down, and with 38 seconds on the clock, Kalinka's in an impossible situation. He's wondering whether it's worth even just backing off and coming in from short. Mirabit, he isn't exposed either way, though. That's the problem. Now, first duel comes in. He chose poorly. And Mirabit, great stuff, man. 3 kills from him. Again, he is keeping alternate attacks in these rounds where they really have no right to be in. You know, HELLRAISERS are being very sloppy. They're not checking to see if there's a stack. They're not seeing if they can bait out any information. You know, the cross smokes even are something I would actually argue are not always a very good idea to just throw every single round, because the pistols can just close distance like okay. Is this what Counter-Strike has become now? Because I can live with that.
Go on, JR. Scout and play, and well, HELLRAISERS have a great opening opportunity. They buy back into it. Of course they would. Attacks winning a round that they shouldn't. And a weakened B bomb site on that prospect. Stefan, smoke at least available. You can redeploy that over, but HELLRAISERS won't honor it. They'll push on through. They're trying to overwhelm Stefan as fast as possible, dancing back and forth. The flash support is phenomenal. They're all blinded up. Stefan can continue to play these angles, and it's great. The support is there. Attacks reinforced with utility, and although JR found that initial peak, that's all they've gotten in the round. Slacks may seal it in. A couple missed shots. JR finds another, but still a significant man advantage for Attacks. The bomb dropped on B.
Well, that's an anchor.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Some people would say it's quite good too, Stefan. The flash support was fantastic, but he knew exactly how to play around it. It does not blind him at all. His own flashbang as well was enough to quickly isolate out a few 1v1s because the players were not really willing to rush him down in fear of him using the box to come around and find that first kill on the problem. But in the process of waiting and trying to circle him around properly, nice kill from JR, but we're about to see Stefan probably, yeah. So in the process of waiting over here, the secondary flashes start to come in, and Kalinka's first, problems, Jalem's next, and then, you know, problem, this ends up going down.
And it's just chain flashes galore on those rotations. Like you said, just dancing around it beautifully, not full. Dust 2, but that was back in week 1, so I'm calling back from against Saw.
Oh right, now I remember. Yes, that was when their double op was doing really well, but then Stradodo came out on their CT side of Saw. Yes, of course they lost that map. Slacks had his monster 25 kills in the first half. Cressy, however, is a bit of a monster himself. Slacks chiming in with one of his own, and Mirabit is obviously going to be there for some action. Yeah, of course he is. It's Mirabit. That's what he does. Finally, we get 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like it would have happened anytime soon.
Well, a convincing one at that as well. So, keeping all 5 up on that CT side, just taking the fight to the pistols, and, well, HELLRAISERS, they can reinvest into this. The AKs are out. They don't have Molotovs, though, so they can't deal with some troublesome angles like that sort of car cubby or the close angles over towards B. So they'll have to be pretty quick about how they approach these angles, make sure that they clear them out as well, because attacks can be tricksy. Mirabit alone towards short. He has a smoke as well that prevents sight lines in towards lower. Kalinka trying to find an entry to start things off, but the crossfire being held. It's broken down, though. Cressy goes for the peak. Stefan trying to get something back, and it's there, but he takes a lot of damage. And Mirabit, the fall-away shot! Excuse me? He's falling. He's still finding frags, and that shouldn't be happening, but HELLRAISERS They're now in a difficult position. Just Flourish and JR to try and pick up any pieces.
Damn right, they're in a difficult position. And it's not about this round. It's about the fact that Murbit has a fire. Has a fire burning behind him. He knows that if he stands still, he's going to go get burnt. But he is just blazing across the skies. Right. Insanity from him. Every single round, he's had a multi-kill except for the pistol, and even there, I'm not sure about that. Slacks misses a shot, but he'll have a second chance too. If they have flashes, well, it won't matter. Murbit's not going to be flashed out regardless. He finds one more. It's 3 kills for him in this round, and JR is left alone versus the same amount. Can he get the 4K? It isn't likely with the time being where it is. He's able to spot out another CT player, but that CT player is more than happy to back off and not give him a chance. A flashbang comes in. Skrunk is still not peeking. And all they've done is given Slacks enough time to reposition and get over towards Car where he can find that kill. And what is going on? Murbit is on 12 kills and 4 deaths in 6 rounds. Yeah. Insanity, pure insanity.
After that start from HELLRAISERS as well, they break down the crossfire. I didn't think they had a chance back into it.
Oh, man.
Just a couple of... I mean, that's just...
Every time I see it.
That's gross.
Gorgeous shot from them. And speaking of gorgeous, you can get yourself some gorgeous rewards. I don't know why I spoke it in that accent, but you can get yourself some gorgeous rewards from Hellcase, who are our partners, who are the biggest and most known case opening website with almost 100 cases. Again, accent slip. Updated case battle, upgrader, dozens of giveaways per month, and more absolutely unique features. Can we get a deagle kill in here between that plug? No, we can't. Cressy gets not one of his own. You won't get bored with Hellcase. Use promo codes to save more and grab what you can. I went through like 4 different accents and a kill in the middle.
Well, a confusing segue, a pretty straightforward round though. The pistols are trying their best, but the weapons that ATTAX have, the setup that they have, there shouldn't be too many surprises. There's no real utility, just a singular flash on Flourish that could maybe catch them out. We'll have to see how effective they go. It is. Well, the run boost over, the tag by Slacks, the 1-2 punch. Mirbit's happy to sweep up those frags. 3 kills for him. Could be the 4th as well. He's been on fire this Dust 2 thus far, and he continues it in good form. 16 kills, 8 rounds of play.
I'm starting to reassess my earlier analysis that Murbit is not the one you're expecting to frag out. I am expecting him to frag out from now on. Yeah. I think I'm done counting him out. Sure, these are equal frags, but just how clean that M4 spray is for 3 of those players, and then follows it up with the USP as well. You can see he's got the win truly in his sails.
And I know I'm calling back still to sort of that week 1 play where we saw attacks on Dust 2, but it was Slacks from that position before. Now it's Mirbit, so...
Either way, they've got short lockdown.
Yeah. The A-bomb site is a tough one to crack, and HELLRAISERS, they're going to try another gander of it. Again, mid-control gain, the little presence towards long to keep ATTAX honest. Now they'll set their sights on getting a bit more information. The AWP of JR congregates with them on short, the smokes as well, to allow them at least the opportunity to cross, potentially drop in towards the spawn as well. Problem will have a gander, go in through CT. Stefan caught off guard, but not the frag, so some attention draw. He's called for reinforcements. Stefan still gets away with 1, so that's more than ATTAX were really hoping to get out of that, considering Problem had him pretty much dead to rights, but Skrunk's under a lot of pressure, and that's the anchor gone. ATTAX have lost that B-bomb site. Do they even attempt the retake?
They have the money, but money is a very fickle experience if you're a CT side player. Oh, okay, that's a cool little sticker. The Problem was able to scout out. Now, Problem, his position isn't known, but they might be expecting someone to be here. Slacks is indeed checking it, and Slacks will take him down, turns it into a 3 versus 2, and now on to the retake. They can go. They've got 2 smokes and a flashbang. Not quite the utility you want, but with Flourish taking that first player down and having a Molotov, this retake becomes close to impossible. Jalem will truly make it impossible, but Slacks still wants to go at it. If he can even force these players to go down with the bomb, that would be big, but it seems like they're the ones who are doing the hunting. Slacks gets 1 and will be backing off and dying in the process. I don't think that's entirely worth it, but I mean, at the same time, T's do have 2 players underneath 4K, so maybe a little bit.
Yeah, it still weakens the buy enough, I think, on the Hellraiser side. I think there was an opportunity for him to survive if he just rounded the corner, the additional walls to penetrate for the bomb. But either way, they were sitting pretty in their money, although they're now breaking into some low money on players like Stefan. They've got the double up once again. Slacks, AWP in hand. Mirbit just trying to cross in towards Pit, and they're not even suspecting it. Head down, trying to dodge those flashes. Mirbit able to get one, and the nades will do significant damage on Jalum as well. Trapped in the corner of Blue Bins. The Molotov, he has to smoke it out. There's still a battle and a brawl over it long, but running out of ammo is Cressy. So a 1-for-1 exchange to start things off. Mirbit still finding more and more kills, though.
Stefan needs to go back with his AWP and take down Problem, because yet again Skrunk has fallen. Stefan off at the ready, doesn't quite land that shot, and Problem unfortunately doesn't have too many bullets, but it'll still be fine. Slacks can't hit the shot on the crossing player, and it's all up to Mirbit. It's 2 versus 2, but JR's the one with the bomb. And do they realize that? Because Slacks is coming in from behind. If Slacks can actually find JR and take him down before he gets to the tunnels, this becomes a very different round for the CT side. Mirbit on 3 kills already. He's really hoping his teammates can step up, but the flick is not there. Mirbit has to now do the powerlifting. His angle's not bad. He can cut off the bomb. He knows where it is as well. The flashbang will not catch him out. He's found one. The AWP on the other side of the doors is risky to contend with, but JR, he himself knows that with 20 seconds left on the clock, this is the ultimate Mexican showdown. He's baited out that first shot. JR is going for the plant. He is not faking it. Mirbit peeks out. He had a Molotov too, but he didn't want to use it just yet. He was afraid of being caught out. Does he have bullets? It seems like he does. It shouldn't be an easy round for JR because the shadow works against him, and Mirbit can get that round out. CT side, sure, their economy is somewhat disturbed by the past 2 rounds, but at the same time, they've got enough saved up to keep a healthy buy going. But Skrunk really needs to stop dying on that B-bomb side.
That was the ace from Mirbit. What is going on? This man is having a show. He's got 22 kills. It's been 10 rounds. And a crucial 1 versus 2 to win it back as well for ATTAX.
I didn't even realize the ace.
Yeah, I want to know what this man is on. What kind of nutrients he's providing himself. What's his meal plan? Someone look it up, please. ATTAX. This man has bailed him out in quite a few rounds thus far. None bigger than that. Now, the faster play from HELLRAISERS through middle. Stefan and Cressy chime on through. Mirbit's been taken out. That's a high impact frag from JR, considering that man's form. But so much control submitted to ATTAX early on.
4 versus 3 with the double ops being in the position that they are is very tricky, but Cressy going down makes it slightly easier. Slacks will hit the first shot. The second is traded away though. And with the player already on the A-bomb site, this looks to be unlikely. Kalinka's hoping to find something, but I want to keep an eye out for Stefan. Stefan's the one who scoped in directly onto JR's position. He will take him down, and with that, Kalinka's given a chance to take the trade. Skrunk, however, has found the player. Skrunk needs to step up these past 2 rounds. He's really not been able to get the most out of that B-bomb site, but Kalinka will get the most out of Skrunk. And when I say the most, I mean the most of his organs and his inner body, because he's just been wrecked right there.
Oh, we're getting a callback. All those kills that Mirbit found over at long and the clutch on through, but HELLRAISERS, they recovered that last round, 3 versus 4. The fantastic ace from Mirbit in that previous round. They're able to recover even with ATTAX starting out. I think it was a 3 versus 5. They got the opening 2 picks and it really cascaded from there. So could have gone from bad to
If ATTAX loses this, then HELLRAISERS is right back into it. It doesn't matter if Mirbit comes out with 30 kills in the first half, if their money is now in the bin. They've been afforded plenty of opportunities, but this is not one of them. They have to now come through with brute force. Skrunk waiting for the push. Stefan's got one. The P250 is good for another, and Stefan follows up. up, even has a chance to reload and reposition. Now it's all about JR finding his skills, but Stefan just too good, and the MP9 will demolish any sort of a house that HELLRAISERS was looking to build.
Oh my goodness. It's the contact play in, and Stefan does so much work. The high mobility, uses his teammate as bait. I thought for sure they'd crack into the side eventually, but the Molotov is oh so timely. It just means that Stefan can do what he does best. Spray them all down. Oh, now it's all role reversal. The money better for attacks. HELLRAISERS really in a struggle position. The hero AK on Jalem, though, they're trying to make short work of this A bomb site, but Slacks with the AWP is hitting shot after shot. Now it's all Kalinka. He's the last of what remains of that initial push. Mirbit even chimes in with the MP9 at distance. They don't even get their hands back on that AK that they bought into the round. And they don't even have a chance. They just have no space to work off of. Attacks are
what are
giving
you doing,
it.
Mirbit? Dear God, he's 25-6. There's 2 rounds left in the half. This is the hottest of all hot hands.
Yeah. Can I just say
is like
this series?
Steph Curry hitting 50 in a quarter.
Yeah, can I just say this has been between both teams, the aim displays we're seeing today from both of them it's kind of incredible. We've seen some fantastic shots throughout. But the performance that Mirbit is now giving is a step above. He's hitting shots after shots. It's become run of the mill. We don't even really want to talk about it anymore.
Oof. This is crazy, but it's also setting me up for fair about the good old first half contributions that sometimes come through.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we might see Mirbit hitting 30 over here, but HELLRAISERS is probably just hoping that the side switching over works against it. But Mirbit is so aggressive with his MP9s and whatnot as well. But look at this. They finally found some space over towards short, but they run away. They're so intimidated by the fact that every single time they've gone there, it's either Mirbit or Slacks or someone who's just wrecking them. And over here, Stefan was getting aggressive with the AWP, but he himself also just backs off, and now this mid to B pinch is going to be interesting. Stefan finds one, but he's traded away. Mirbit's not expected. He's good for 2, and he is unstoppable. He's literally unstoppable.
Oh, Kalinka will try his best to stop this man, but Mirbit goes through the smoke, the flash as well. 3 kills for him, and it's just JR. Not long for the world. Cressy finishes off the round. Attacks had the read. They know Mirbit plays over towards A. You can see HELLRAISERS got control of short. They back off. They think B's the more susceptible, but Mirbit's rotated in before they knew it. He didn't even start it long. They had that from the start.
He could feasibly have a 30 bomb and a half.
Yeah,
That's insane. He's literally averaged 2 kills per round throughout the first 14 rounds, and this has not been a whitewash. They've had to eco rounds as well. Stefan finds the first. Mirbit is desperate for the 30, but Cressy will not let him get the easy one at least. A 5 versus 3. Where HELLRAISERS are finding themselves strapped of options and are very soon going to find themselves strapped of ways to come back into this if they don't get a few kills very quickly. Slacks, nade goes in deep, perfectly placed as well, but how did that not do damage? What? I think it went too far behind, maybe?
Yeah, must have rounded the corner a little bit aggressively. Yeah. They won a 3 versus 5 before on HELLRAISERS. It's certainly still doable. That initial hurdles need to be crossed. Slacks on the AWP. Got Mirbit on that rotation as well, just in case that smoke is where HELLRAISERS want to explore. 50 seconds left. They're still poking and probing, trying to find where this ult is positioned. The jump up, it's spotted out. Mirbit's able to get the first. Now just on to Flourish, and the crouch peek is good. There's at least a little bit more room to work off of. Mirbit doesn't have an angle into the site, but he jumps into his crosshair. JR now on the 1 versus 3. Mirbit got the 30 bomb and got 31 instead.
Holy shit. What a performance from Mirbit, man. I mean, look at these 3 kills he gets over here, and then he gets another 3k after that. There have been more rounds where Merbit has had 3Ks than less.
You can see production's having a hard time keeping up because this man's a one-man highlight reel at the moment. Just we're having to call back to rounds played before just because we're not expecting it to happen time and time and time again.
I mean, you need to just have a separate Merbit cam at this point if you want to get all the replays out. It's alternate attacks rushing out towards long. They may have made the correct decision. Cressy in the back line trying to take some deals with the P250. It's a trade as Kalinka will take him down, but not before Jalen will fall. Cressy was the one with some of the utility. A smoke comes out, some flashes as well, but Problem can't hit any shots despite the lack of the second smoke. His retake is going to be incredibly difficult without the kit as well.
Close towards the smoke. I don't know if Slack spotted just the feet. He's honoring the fact that Problem could be there at the very least, but backed himself away, waiting for his teammates to rotate in. Long control, that battle will be crucial. Stefan winning that one out, and he's actually gone for more. He's found and dealt with all of that short pressure instead. Scrunk, that's the duel I was talking about. I thought that would be far more impactful, while Scrunk blindsides Problem at the end. I would say that as a half, Merbit does all the work, but he doesn't have to contribute anything in that round. It's his teammates that pick up the slack. I don't think he has to do much more. The rest of the team could just have a field day, because it feels like HELLRAISERS are kind of checking out.
I mean, I would.
I mean, no kit, no utility whatsoever on a pistol round. Sure, it's you can honor the duels all you want, but I mean, when a man does this to you, it can be easy to shut things down, trying to repress the memory.
I feel bad for HELLRAISERS fans.
Yeah, this series has delivered. ATTAX have really bounced back in these past couple of maps, but HELLRAISERS were so good to start off Vertigo to close out Inferno. I didn't think anybody could one-up any of what we've seen today, but Merbit finds a way.
I am in awe. Oh my god. Anyhow, he's not done yet. There's still another half to go. And maybe HELLRAISERS, maybe they can find some deagle shots. Maybe they can find some confidence. Maybe they can start, chasing after the shins of alternate attacks. But maybe not as well. Maybe it goes both ways.
And the big thing is, right, Merbit had such a great first half. You can't often see when players have such a good performance to start things off, they sort of fall off. So maybe he'll be missing as HELLRAISERS try and mount that comeback.
Barrett comes in with a big one, and Jalem's the one there with the follow-up. We talked about these deagles, and they're delivering over here. Merbit's death, and Problem says, you're not the only one who can come through with some forced by victories. The CT side of HELLRAISERS is more than competent with those deagles, and you see Flerich starting things off nicely there and then. Great flank as well from short.
Yeah, great timing. I mean, just headshots galore, it seemed, from the HELLRAISERS deagles. Very clean. Only one body spam shot really came through. So, some signs of life. This is certainly not over. HELLRAISERS will be pretty disappointed as to how that first half went, but they are looking to recover. ATTAX, quick play in through middle. Scrunk is dealt with very early on. Kalinka and Jalem with some aggression off of short as well, but they have to be careful of deagles themselves. Cressy able to answer with one, but still hanging around. Slacks gets a kill with the Glock. Kalinka, okay, a 1-for-1 trade again. ATTAX are making this very competitive in spite of the pistols once again.
And don't forget, Raid Boss Merbit is still alive. He's not really had anything in the second half so far, so maybe he is experiencing the curse of the first half heat. But I would not be quick to cross him off just yet. Cressy, position is good, and he's got the second one as well. Unfortunately, JR does take him down, but JR is now having to contend with the last deagle, which he pre-fires somehow. Seemed to know where Merbit was, jiggles out and takes him down. 6th round is there from HELLRAISERS.
Yeah, that is too close for comfort. Great kill there from Cressy, but JR, this is a confident swing considering the stats, and like you said, Merbit has thus far found nothing in the second half. Is that a recurring theme? Does that continue to be the case? That still remains to be seen, but HELLRAISERS Now a couple rounds in a row. So their money's not looking the best, given how close that last round was. So this will really come down to whether they can get a clean one. Get that CT economy rolling.
Molotovs from Flareich, taking control of short where they can, but these players are about to run to meet Grinder. Kalinka sees one. It's excellent spacing and the trade is there, but Jalem has stepped up on the CT side. He has been very impactful in the past few rounds, up to 12 kills, and although that's not a very impressive number when he's got 16 deaths, you have to keep in mind that the first half is no longer, you know, we just don't talk about that. We don't talk about it.
I have to say, for the CT side thus far from HELLRAISERS, we've seen some great signs, some good timings on the procedures there. As soon as the attacks mid-B smoke comes through, they have that utility, they have players in place, and well, JR takes the challenge down middle, usually ill-conceived, but still able to come up some good results for the CT side.
Polenka, this is damage control time where you're just bringing it together as close as you can. HELLRAISERS, it's good to see them fighting tooth and nail over here, as they do prevent Skrunk from getting a quick 1D. Ultra attacks could also start to flounder soon. Let's not forget that actually, hold that thought as problem. Maybe we see some kills. No, man. Let's not forget that at this, as much as we're hyping up Merbit getting 31 kills, it can also end up being a crutch for the rest of the team.
Yeah.
So now when you're going out of this comfort zone of having this simple Zaiwu-esque performance on your team into having to deliver individually, let's take a look at their statistics and keep in mind that, you know, Merbit took most of the kills, so that you really can't do that much, but no one's really got a positive KD other than Stefan and Merbit. So HELLRAISERS definitely have a chance. They've been the ones who've really been struggling throughout, so their players are definitely still hot and ready to go.
Yeah, this is where it could all turn around. HELLRAISERS have done most of the leg room, or most of the leg work to get the pistol and the rounds afterwards. Yeah, we're not on a bus or a plane. Not talking about leg room.
It is quite nice when you get a good leg room on a plane, though.
True. And while they would like to stretch this out on the HELLRAISERS side, get their legs out as well. Flareich, oh, the missed shot to start things off. JR not really able to support as a result of that corner smoke. And as they spam away, JR still able to come away with the frag. Mirbit down, Stefan as well. The man advantage held, but only for a moment. Cressy and Slacks answer back. A 3 versus 2 now ensues, and there's only one player that stands between them and this A bomb site, and he's actually the last man standing. Jalem trapped in the corner. Do they know he's there? Slacks is holding it, and yeah, he had the read. The first gun round really from ATTAX, or the first strong one from them, and well, they start a T side win since they've been on the second half. After the pistol, of course.
Yeah. This is where Ultra Attacks can maybe try and use some of this momentum. Remember, as much as I say that they're not chiming in the same way on the T side, they don't need to. They just need 3 more rounds. You can slip past and find those, and Slacks can find a quick kill as well, which is obviously going to be a big help. With that, all of Long has been taken control of by them. They don't know it just yet, though. Jalen. Molotov at his feet. Flashbang comes in for him to find a quick one, but the trade is immediate as well. Unfortunately, the CT still are a man down, and they're desperately looking for the equalizer. That's what Kalinka's trying to find, and that's exactly what he's trying to do.
Another flash into towards the lower tunnels. That's very much on the cards for HELLRAISERS. They want to make sure that that is not an angle that ATTAX can explore. And while he clears things out towards B, that means things are mounting towards A instead. It has to be Flareich. It has to be Problem to shut this down. The Molotov flying over the flashes as well. Flareich blinded up Mirbit with the entry. The second may soon follow. Problem behind the smoke. Cressy, in fact, steals that away. It's now just Kalinka. 1 versus 4. This is not looking likely. A very easy call to save.
Now you start to get worried because all those rounds where you lost too many players because Cressy was able to get a few deagle shots, they come back to bite you. HELLRAISERS, they found some wind in their sails, they found some progress, some momentum, but now the second you lose that first pick to Slacks, you're just stuck in this endless loop of trading, which will perpetually favor the side that's already 5 versus 4. Unfortunately, the read wasn't there either. So the second time they retook lower tunnels as well, it just led to more isolation.
And, well, you can see the odds from our partners over at LootBet. They've been fairly close, fairly consistent throughout this series. And now it's a very one-sided endeavor.
A little bit. A 107 to a 750. Damn.
Well, attacks are close. They had a great first half showing. HELLRAISERS able to answer back at the start of the second. But now that they've picked up a little bit, HELLRAISERS, they may begin to sweat. Used to be 6 in a row to at least prevent the overtime. We could very well end up there. Both teams, when they've played this map in the past, not shy from overtimes at the very least. And they'll go for the boost on short. Kalinka, they're able to get that frag to start things off. Flarich as well, they can back off safely. They're challenging towards Stefan though. This is an opportunity that could go punished, but lots of missed shots on both sides. That's an awkward duel. Kalinka finally puts an end to it.
Whatever the opposite of crisp is, that was that.
Floppy.
Kalinka's all right. Kalinka, unfortunately for him, did find the AK, so the one shot he managed to land does end up taking down Stefan. Otherwise, that could have gone the other way. And like you said, perhaps some unnecessary risks being taken. But when you're down 14 to 8, unnecessary risks seem a lot more viable. 2 smokes are still there from ATTAX, so they can use those to cross over. Cressy is hoping to overwhelm Kalinka. If he finds his first kill, it's going to be taking a very long time before more comes through. Kalinka's not checking the angle, and with that, it's going to be a quick 3 versus 4. Cressy could try and push through the smoke, but Flarich is on the other side waiting, and he might have actually heard him. Flarich is forced out, and he will get the kill, but Murbit should find the trade. Unfortunately, the Molotov not quite landing on him. It will finish him off, though, as he moved out into it. A 2 versus 2 with an AWP over here where they could come out on top, but Slacks takes too long to plant the bomb. Murbit in the back lines has to step up. He's been the hero so far. Can he put on escape? He finds one, but not the second. Superman is not quite ready to fly again.
Great pace there from HELLRAISERS on the retake. It was, lest we forget, this was a couple of rifles brought into the round from HELLRAISERS. Kalinka winning those first 2 duels, drop some weapons on path. So when they rotate in, they are hot on the heels of ATTAX. They don't allow them to get that bomb planted safely. Let them play the post plant. Instead, they isolate the duels, get those 2 versus 1s, and trade things effectively. They prevent 15. ATTAX side as of yet.
The CT's passivity could be their undoing. They want to stay put because of the double op setup. They're hoping they can find some pickoffs, but JR, if he gets flashed off, if he gets smoked off, things get very, very risky. He pulls out his knife. He'll be staying in position. And he could maybe even catch them off.
This is risky.
He's got to come up big. JR waiting. Kalinka's found the first. Kalinka on the other side has got 2, but they immediate trades with JR in the smoke also going down. Stefan probably bumped into him and figured out he was there. Cressy now on shot, taking the duel problem. Has to find the shot by the AK. Is at such an advantage. Flarich will come in with 1 and 2. He's saving the day all on his own, but Cressy will put on his best Murbit impression and get them through to that 15th round.
Impression or not, he has really come together on this T side, being a consistent fragger for attacks now that the sides are swapped, and that's a crucial set to win. The 1 versus 2, the headshot angle taken. Now it's only one more mistake, one more round to find here on attacks. The money is just gone for HELLRAISERS. It's not a good buy. It's pistols galore, some sparse utility as well. They have to concede control to attacks. Long range game is not one you want.
They have got the wall smokes down, but again, pistol's going to work against that. Kalinka. In between, JR desperately needs these kills. But Cressy, well, he's being taken away by teammates one by one. He himself will fall, leave Slacks in a 1 versus 2. And let's see how he does.
He spots the gun barrel, so he knows where JR is. The jump spot. Did he see him? I don't know if that the information is there. Slacks, he knows where one of the players is. The Molotov will be perfect to flush JR out, but now they can peek him simultaneously, play off the fact that he knows he has the AWP, but the first shot hit, problem down. JR, can he win this back for HELLRAISERS? Keep them in it, but Slacks just too fast with the trigger. The AWP will always have the advantage, and he isolates